1 point. The difference in this game was 1 point. Raptors lose 106-105 to the Golden State Warriors. And I don't think I'm going down to the square anymore. Or Jurassic Park or whatever. Reason being, if you guys don't know the history about that from me, and I've told you somewhat my record down there in Jurassic Park. I'll give you guys a little bit of a throwback here. Let's go to the Blue Jays, back in 2015 against Kansas City. Game 6. I was downtown at Nathan Phillips Square in the Bird's Nest, I think they called it. Bases loaded, nobody out, 9th inning. You have a chance to tie the game. Possibly even take the lead. Bases loaded, nobody out. They blow it. Heartbreaking. Season done. Leafs, 2013. Game 7. Boston Bruins. We all know how that went. I was down to Maple Leaf Square for that. And today, Raptors, like I said, lose 106-105 to the Golden State Warriors. And heartbreak yet again for me watching my teams downtown looking to celebrate. Now, the story coming into the game was Kevin Durant playing. Shocking, really. We'll get to why in a little bit here. And to start the game, the Raptors struggled. They couldn't make their threes. Marc Gasol was the only guy knocking down some shots. And the Golden State Warriors could not miss from beyond the arc. And Kevin Durant came out flying. 3 of 4 from the field. 3 of 3 from 3. He had 11 points in the 12 minutes that he played. Sorry, 3 of 5 from the field. 3 of 3 from 3 in the 12 minutes that he played. The reason I just said 12 minutes that he played, I think it was in the second quarter. He does a little quick move there at the 3-point line. And goes down. Grabs the back of his ankle. You know what that means? Achilles. President Bob Myers of the Golden State Warriors was pretty much in tears after the game. Asked about what happened with Kevin Durant. And you know what? And if he says, if you want to blame anybody, blame me. And I'm like, okay, I'll blame you. Because that is awful. As much as I'm a basketball fan, a Raptors fan, and I want to win the NBA championship. And to do that, Kevin Durant probably shouldn't be in the lineup. You should not see this happen to a player. Especially a player of his caliber. And especially that he's one of the best, if not the best player in the game. And we are watching this happen. He missed also almost a whole series because of some serious injury. He has a little bit of practice yesterday and a little bit of practice today, and therefore he's good to go into Game 6 of the NBA Finals? Stupid. And that Achilles injury, now I don't know how serious it is or whatnot, but he was in a boot leaving the building. He might be done for next year. And I know as a Raptor fan, if he ended up going to the New York Knicks, I guess that's good in a sense for the Raptors, but you never want to see that. It's awful. Speaking of awful, the Toronto Raptors shooting a 3. Abysmal. They shot 8 for 32. 25%. Look, I'm sorry. You lost by 1. You played pretty well in some aspects. But the fact that the numbers in 3-point percentage is stupid. And you know what? Coming into the series, Golden State was the team to beat when it comes to shooting the 3. The Splash Brothers are the Splash Brothers for a reason. And they showed it today. The Golden State Warriors made 23s. The Raptors, 8. You are almost never going to win a game when that happens. Now, before we go into the other stats and all that kind of stuff, let's go through the game. We talked about early on, they couldn't miss a shot. At one point, they were 5 of 5 from 3, and I'm like, this might get out of hand early. The Raptors did hang around, however, and were only -6 after the first quarter. We saw that in Game 4. In Game 4, So, not too worried. Second quarter, 28-28. But at one point, it was like 11 to 14 points. It was rough. They get it back to 6. We go into halftime, down by 6. Third quarter, again, same type of thing happens. You get it down to 4, then they build it back up to 8, and then 11, and we're like, oh god, this is brutal. But then the Raptors find a way to get it back to 6 again, going into the fourth. And in the fourth quarter, Kawhi Leonard turned a switch and turned into a freak. What did he end the game with? He ended up with 26, but the problem was he shot 9 of 24, 2 of 7 from 3. And I understand he only missed 2 free throws, but Kawhi Leonard is automatic from the free throw line, usually. And the fact that he wasn't there today, it did hurt. And he was 2 of 7 from 3. He shot 28% from 3, 37% from the field. That's not Kawhi Leonard. However, in the latter part of the game, when this team needed that little bit of boost, there were lots of times where they got down to 4 and 3, but then they gave up a run to let the Golden State Warriors build that lead back up. Now, late in the game, Kawhi Leonard took over. Tons of big shots to eventually, with about 3 minutes left, give the Raptors a 6-point lead. With about 3 to go. They're in or around there. And everybody in Jurassic Park where I wasn't in actual Jurassic Park because that thing was jam-packed really early in the morning and I worked till 3, so that was that. But hearing everybody thinking to themselves, and I was one of those people thinking, is this really going to happen tonight? Are the Raptors going to be crowned NBA champions? Steve Kerr calls a timeout. And out of the timeout, they get a great screen from Draymond. And Klay knocks down a 3, cutting the deficit to 3. Still, again, you still got the lead. Now you have the ball. Let's build it back up. You miss your shot. And a couple opportunities happen where you get an opportunity to make your shot and build on the lead, but they can't. Then eventually, Steph Curry gets loose. Drains a 3, and we're tied. Then again, late in the game, you still haven't made a shot. It's still tied. Klay Thompson, wide open, drains it with just under a minute to play. You're down by 3. A 9-0 run in the dying 3 minutes of the ball game. That just can't happen. If you're going to close out a championship game against a team like Golden State, that was your opportunity. Now, Kyle Lowry does a great job getting to the bucket, cutting the deficit to 1. Next play down the floor, Boogie, illegal screen, Raptor ball, 15 on the clock. We're like, they have time. They're down 1. This is setting up for absolute mayhem. Nick Nurse calls a timeout. And I you know what? I don't know if that was the right move. You had the shot to cut it to 1. You have the momentum because you got the turnover and you have the ball. You have all the momentum right now. But you call a timeout. You let them get a breather. Let them set up their defense. And they drip everybody all over Kawhi. And then he kicks it to Fred, who kicks it to the corner to Lowry, and he fires a 3 for the win. And he hits the side of the net. Not even the rim. The side of the net. And the Raptors lose 106-105. Now, for all you hockey fans out there, a little analogy I got here, and the reason why I'm very, very upset right now. I'm going to go back. It's been a little while now. Washington Capitals and New York Rangers, all right? I used to be a Caps fan when the Leafs were terrible, so we're kind of getting into that whole field. The Washington Capitals had a 3-1 lead against the New York Rangers. I think it was either overtime or double overtime. The Rangers score to make it a 3-2 series, but I mean, I think you're going back to Washington, or you're at least, you're feeling okay here. You still got a 3-2 lead. The rest of the series was lopsided, and the Rangers won the series. I'm not saying this is the same feeling. But the fact that you had the win, the championship right there under your nose, and you lost it. Now, ideally, you're still up 3-2, and look, the Raptors have lost 2 games in this series. Both have been at home, so now you go on the road for Game 6. But the positive is there's no Durant, and there's probably not going to be any Kayvon Looney, even though he really wasn't a part in this game really much at all. So, you got to win 1 game out of the next 2. I'm expecting the Raptors to shoot the ball better than they did today. I'm expecting Kawhi to shoot the ball better. Siakam was 6 of 15. Marc Gasol was 4 of 6. He had 17 points and 8 rebounds. He was awesome. Was 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Lowry, 8 of 16 from the field, but the problem was he was 1 of 6 from 3. You made 8 the entire ball game. Against a team like Golden State, that's not good enough. It's just not. And off the bench, Danny Green really didn't give you a whole lot. He was 2 of 7. He was 0 of 4 from 3. That can't happen. Fred VanVleet had 11 points, 3 of 7 shooting, got in foul trouble early, which I'm feeling is a big factor of why Steph Curry went off in the game. Now, there was a few calls on Curry shooting the ball that he's flying around like a fish, but he got the calls, and I'm not going to say anything about the referees because I think the free throws were in favor of the Raptors. He had 27-14. So, what are we going to complain about? You didn't make your shots. You got the wide open looks. Siakam can't knock down a wide open corner 3 for his life anymore. He was 0 of 4, and for Pete's sake, Pascal, when you get inside against a mismatch like a Curry or Klay Thompson, go right at him. Don't try and do something prettier or pass it out. Get right in there. Get right in his grill. And when he did that today, he was getting to the rim, getting an and one, or getting a bucket, or just getting a good look. They're not... When Marc Gasol's shooting the ball well early on, he's cooking, and you saw that today. Pascal, when he's just planting his rear end in the corner taking threes, that's a problem. And for Kawhi Leonard, look, he struggled today. He did. He was, as much as I loved what he did, in the last game with 36 points and no turnovers, that was awesome. But he turned the ball over 5 times today, a couple careless ones, and I'm like, man, that's an issue. And then a couple missed free throws. I'm like, Kawhi. And he did not have a great game. I love Kawhi. He had a double-double. He had 6 assists. Like, statistically speaking, he didn't have a terrible ball game at 26, 12, and 6, but he shot 9 of 24. He missed 2 big free throws. He was 2 of 7 from 3. He had 5 turnovers in the game. It wasn't your prototypical Kawhi Leonard type of night. Now, and Serge Ibaka was an absolute beast. Had 15 points, 6 rebounds, and on 5 of 8 shooting. Yet he played only 17 minutes. Gasol was great. I got to give that to him. So I think that's a reason of why he played as much as he did. This one hurts because it was that close. If you guys have watched my, I guess, I don't know if you guys remember when I've been saying this a few times. Toronto teams, I'm not saying this is over because it's definitely far from over this series. But Toronto teams seem to do the whole... we baited you in, we lose. We've learned this over the past. I'm just praying to God. And as much as I would love to win on home court, but the only way that happens is if you go to a Game 7, and I do not want that. I want 6. I want to win in Golden State on, when is that? So it's Thursday? So Thursday, 9 o'clock in Golden State. The last game, for sure, in Oracle Arena. So if you're the Toronto Raptors, I'm going to close this video off, guys, in a second here. If you're the Toronto Raptors, you make your wide open shots. We say it over and over again. I sound like a broken record, but you know what? It's the reason you lost today's game. You didn't make your wide open shots. They did. I think, what did Curry and Klay do today? I know they had a great game, but I'm looking at 3 points. They combined for 12. The Raptors as a team had 8. That sums it up right there. And I'm going to leave it at that, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and you guys are as heartbroken as I am with this game, smack the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the whole Kevin Durant situation. Even though as a Raptor fan, you're probably thinking good riddance. He's gone. The snake is gone. And that's it for the series. Because if he comes back in this series, I'm like, they're literally trying to kill this guy. What are your thoughts on that whole situation about playing him in general and the injury and how is this going to affect his future and all that? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this stuff. And just a heads up, guys, don't you worry. I will not be going down to another game this year for the Toronto Raptors in Jurassic Park or in that area. All right, because I'm tired of being heartbroken. You know, it sucks. All right, so guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the game. Everything, the timeout by Nick Nurse, the invisible offense in the final few minutes of the game. I want to really hear your guys' thoughts on this game and your take on all of this. And are you worried? I really want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Are you worried with the loss today, or is it kind of like a, you know what, tough loss? You lost by 1, back on the drawing board, and go to Golden State and do what you did there before. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, all right? So, what is it here? Twitter, guys, is down below. If you want to message me instead of commenting, do so, guys. The links are in the description for Twitter. And I will talk to you guys. Jays edition, I mean, not much positive there to talk about. They take on the Baltimore Orioles for a 3-game set starting tomorrow night. Trent Thornton on the mound for the Blue Jays. John Means on the mound for the O's. 7:05 first pitch at Camden Yards tomorrow night. And as for the Raptors, as we've talked about, their next game is Thursday in Golden State. 9 p.m. tip-off there in Oakland at the final in Oracle for the final time ever. And for the Toronto Raptors, I want this thing done on Thursday. I think you guys can agree with that, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you guys then.